We're getting to the business end of this January transfer window. We've already sold one player. There's 11 more players who are wanted by other clubs, and we are going to try and squeeze through a couple more sales before the window closes. And also, we're playing Tottenham today. Hello and welcome to part 6 of Gunning for Glory. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Tottenham in the Premier League and then at home against Bournemouth. Also in the Premier League, believe it or not. Since you were last with me, the sea of green has re-emerged on our fixture list. We had that little blip where we had the red and a little bit of yellow, but luckily we got over it and it's just green all the way. I mean, sometimes we make a little bit of hard work of it, like against Southampton, only picking up a 1-0 win thanks to an own goal. But by and large, we're still in incredibly good form, and Alexis Sanchez has really turned up at this point and decided that he wants to be a good player for us. In transfer/contract news, both Sanchez and Ozil have signed new contracts with us. They're expensive contracts, so Ozil now here until 2020 on £190,000 a week. Sanchez is with us until 2020 on 180,000. We're actually paying Ozil more than Sanchez. That's mad. Neither of them are wanted at the moment, so as much as I'd like to move one of them on, it's proving challenging to do so. However, there are clubs in for Mertesacker. Lots of MLS clubs are offering in the region of about £5 million. I don't think £5 million is enough to take our captain away from us when we're on such a long winning streak. However, if that gets up nearer to £10 million, I think we'll probably move him on and just promote either Christensen or Mustafi into the team on a regular basis. In fact, he's there today. Koscielny sat on the bench. He said, we've got good centre-backs. I think we can afford to lose Mertesacker, but I don't want to let him go on the cheap, just in case losing our captain does disrupt things for us. There's also been MLS clubs in for Petr Cech as well, but we don't really have anyone good enough to replace him. So until we can sell, we can't really buy, because we're maxed out on our wage budget, like seriously maxed out, and have no transfer budget left. So we can't bring in any new players right now. But most promisingly, Olivier Giroud is wanted by Man City and AC Milan. Danny Welbeck wanted by Man City. If we can get an offer for one of those two, now Lacazette is fit again, if we can get rid of one of those two, we will bite their arm off. And if we can get anything in the region of 30, 40, 50 million pounds for one of those, then we're sorted. Then we can go buy a new young goalkeeper, let Cech go, let Mertesacker go, and start to get a little bit closer towards balancing the books on this season. But before any of that, we're playing against Tottenham in the Premier League, and this is the team that we're going to put out there to do that. We've got Cech in goal, a back four of Kolasinac. I still don't know how you say it. I'm never going to know. People keep putting it phonetically in the comments, but you all keep doing it differently. So I'm just going to say Kolasinac, and if it's consistently wrong, I'll just sell him, and then it won't be a problem anymore. Mertesacker, Mustafi and Bellerin, Xhaka and Ramsey in midfield, with Lacazette up front, his first Premier League start, but he did play in the FA Cup in the last game and scored, so it's worth giving him a go in the Premier League just to be absolutely certain that he can replace Giroud and or Welbeck. And then we've got Sanchez, Ozil and Walcott behind them, so Thomas Lemar on the bench for the big game, because all these guys are in good form. It seems sensible to play them. Lamar's just gone off the ball a little bit in recent games, so he's young. We're going to give him a little bit of a rest. As you can see, he's very tired, and his form's not been great. So we're just letting him sit this one out. Iwobi's desperate to get him in the team, but I just don't see where we fit him in. And Asensio, not even on the bench. We need to sell an attacking midfielder soon, because I don't want to lose Asensio. I don't want to stifle his development either by having him not even getting on the bench. But at the same time, I can't bring myself to drop Sanchez or Ozil when A, they're playing as well as they are, and B, earning as much money as they are. We've given them those new contracts with a view to getting decent money for them when we sell them. We now need to sell one or both of them, or else our pre-season gamble of signing their replacements before they came in, Kev's pitiful attempt at Moneyball, is gonna be a complete disaster. And we end up with so many that they all get miserable. But let's not be on a downer. We're 8 points clear at the top of the league right now, so that side of things is looking up. Certainly, I'm stressing out about the money. Kev doesn't stress out about the money. Kev just cares about winning. And ultimately, we've still got £200 million in the bank, so we're doing all right for cash as well. We just have our silly little rule where we want to balance the books. Is Harry Kane getting sent off in the North London derby? He's not. He gets a yellow card. That would have been delightful if he'd have got himself sent off in the North London derby. Lacazette to take the penalty for his first Premier League goal, if he can convert this. He does. Lacazette is off the mark in the Premier League. That's 2 goals from 2 starts for him now. I know that one's from a penalty and the other one was against Mansfield, but he's not bottling it, and that's important. And hopefully he can fill the void that moving, hopefully, Giroud on is, because if we get offers for both of them, Giroud's definitely the one that will move on, because A, he's older, B, he's not scored as many goals as Welbeck, and C, Welbeck can play on either wing as well, so he gives us that little bit of flexibility around the squad. Not that we need more attacking midfield players, but it's nice to have the option there. Whereas with Giroud, he can just play in that one position. Similar situation to Ozil and Sanchez. If we have to sell one, we'll sell Ozil, because they can both play all across the midfield 3, but Sanchez can also play up front and gives us a little bit of flexibility there, whereas Ozil can't really. So again, in the interests of a little bit of flexibility in the squad whilst trimming numbers, the ideal for us is to let Ozil and Giroud go. Harry Kane's just equalised. It's his 14th goal of the season. That makes me really rather sad. I'll have a sip of my coffee to try and cheer myself up. Oh, look at that. Really, I mean, it's quite sloppy defending. Harry Kane's arms nearly popped out of their sockets as he ran away with his celebration. And Tottenham are coming at us again just before half-time, and Eriksen's in, and it's 2-1. Imagine if our long unbeaten run, long winning run, ends because of blooming Tottenham. I mean, that's well played from Son, and Eriksen's completely unmarked in the middle. Our defence are a little bit all over the place. We've had bits of this earlier on in the season. It hasn't really been an issue recently because we've been so dominant going forward, but because of the way we set ourselves up, especially away from home and especially against better teams, we do have a tendency to leave these big gaps at the back, and that's a really nice finish, and we're being absolutely thumped here. Perhaps we can afford to let Mertesacker go, because I think that's Mertesacker being done for pace there. It is. And I think the last time we looked like we might be beaten, it was Mertesacker who was struggling, and he really is, I think, struggling to keep up at this point. So I am leaning towards maybe even letting him go for the 5 million quid if we get an offer him before the deadline. Harry Kane's got a hat-trick. I maintain he should have been sent off for giving the penalty away. It'd be 1-1 if he'd have been sent off when he was supposed to be. But no, they let him stay on the... I mean, that's a good finish. He's a good striker. Should we buy him? Do you reckon he'll come to us? Well, both Mertesacker and Mustafi having nightmares. Perhaps Koscielny and Christensen's going to be our first choice back for. Oh, Mertesacker wins a header. About blooming time. It's all he can do, really. He's not going to beat Kane for pace. So it's a bit of an unusual decision for him to lump the ball up towards anyone's heads when Mertesacker's there to nod it away. But there you go, ball over the top. Kane's in again. These two centre-backs are just being torn apart today by Harry Kane. And I don't really have any response for it. I could have shuffled the team around at an earlier... There's no point when we're 4-1 down. There's no point in sticking a holding midfield player in or switching the fullbacks up. We need to try and get back in the game now. We've got to do it Kev style and aim for the 4-4 or a 5-4, or just try and score more goals than they do for the rest of the game. Ozil has been rubbish. Mustafi, rubbish. Walcott, rubbish. Welbeck or Iwobi? Welbeck. Right, there you go. Triple substitution. We don't do this very often, but we need goals. And Danny Welbeck has been full of goals this season. Not from the right wing there. Now Sanchez is injured. Only a dead leg, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But I think it's safe to say our unbeaten run's over. And I think... Oh, goodness me. He's got his 4th, their 5th. This is becoming a humiliation. All you Tottenham fans who arrived on the channel because of me managing Tottenham previously, you must be loving this. I'm not loving it so much. And Harry Kane... That's... I mean, wow. We're still 7 points clear at the top of the league. It's by no means a disaster, but you know how fickle confidence can be in this game. If we don't go and immediately bounce back and win our next game, it might start to cause a problem. But I think I am accepting the next offer I get for Mertesacker, however much it is and whoever it comes from, because he's upset me now. Well, changes. Monreal comes in at left back. Cech's injured, but I'm still going to play him because I don't like Ospina. Giroud comes back in up front, and other than that, we are unchanged from the team that got thumped by Tottenham. We need these lot to sort themselves out and have the comeback win themselves. So let's get into the game. If it does, it doesn't go well today, then we make some serious changes. We're not going to panic just yet, though. Bournemouth, though, are having a really good season. They're up there in 6th place, level on points with Man City. So it's not like we're just going to have a nice, easy run out against a team we can thump to get ourselves back into form. We actually need to put in a good performance against a team that are having a cracking season. And have actually jumped above Leicester in terms of teams you wouldn't expect to be up there challenging for a Champions League spot. But fingers crossed, we get... Ideal for today is we get a fantastic performance from Giroud. He gets a hat-trick. Man City give us £50 million for him. We win the game, we have the money, and everyone's happy. Sanchez has tucked it into the back of the net now to put us 1-0 up after 3 minutes. And hopefully this is going to be the start of a confidence-boosting 6-0 win, so that we can get ourselves back to where we were before and just completely erase the memories of that Tottenham game completely. Because I just still don't understand how it happened. I think what we need, especially, presumably we're going to be playing Champions League football next year and we're going to come up against better teams a little bit more regularly. At the moment, we're only away from home against a big club 3 or 4 times over the course of the season. Next year, if we're in the Champions League, it's going to happen much more regularly. I think we probably need an away from home system that's a little bit less attack minded, maybe with a holding midfielder in, or maybe with our fullbacks just dropping back a little bit more. We'll figure something out, but I don't think it's anything I'm going to worry about this year. I'm not overly concerned about winning the Europa League. We'll go and play that super attacking, and if we get knocked out, then so be it. There aren't many away games against top Premier League clubs left, and we've got a decent gap at the top of the league, so I'm not that worried about that either. I think we should be able to carry on and win the league. But next year, I think we need a proper away formation. Giroud's just made it 2-0. And hopefully the Man City scouts are here. Or the ideal, presumably, would be AC Milan. I think they were in for him as well. Get him off to Italy so that we don't have a situation where he's going to score loads of goals against us. But I can't imagine, if he goes to Man City, I can't imagine he's going to get a game. I don't really get why they would want him and where in the team he would fit. Perhaps they'll just swap him for Aguero with us. That would do nicely. I'd probably accept that deal. Right, Xhaka to Walcott. Ozil drop him very, very deep, but finds Alexis, who misses out, and that's lumped forward, and Jermaine Defoe is in, and would have expected better from Jermaine Defoe, but lumps it over the crossbar. Mertesacker getting very attacking now. Ozil tries to play it through for Walcott, but he's fouled, and that's got to be a red card, surely. Walcott's through on goal. It's not even a booking, but Ozil does step up to take the penalty for 3-0, and there it is. And we have got our confidence-boosting win. This is a variation on the Lukaku clap. We've got the Ozil I'm not listening penalty. Oh, I'm not listening. DJ Ozil scores a penalty. Excellent stuff. Right, Walcott. Is he going to get another chance now? Because he was in there and would have scored, but now we want to set him up with another chance so he can go and grab a goal. Ozil does find Walcott. He finds Giroud, and you would have thought that that's a goal there, but apparently not. We've only had 2 clear-cut chances today, scored 3 goals, so we are being a little bit more clinical, certainly than we were against Tottenham. But most importantly, we're not letting Bournemouth run rampant on us like we did with Spurs. We'll bring on Lamar and Wilshere. Lamar because he's had his rest now, let's get him back in the team. And Wilshere because no one seems to be interested in him anymore. Let's remind everyone he exists, because he would be another one. If we could get him out the door before the transfer window closes, that would be a bit of a result. Let's get Christensen on in midfield for the last 10 minutes while we just let this game wind down. So 5 points clear at the top of the league, but we haven't made any significant sales yet. Oh, by the way, I told you right at the start of the intro, didn't I, that we've sold a player, and I haven't told you who it was. It was that right back whose name escapes me. I'll show you in a minute. It was like 2 million quid. It wasn't anything major. Debuchy, is that his name? Or am I making that up? Let's have a look anyway. So we won the game. Huzzah, huzzah. The transfer was Debuchy to Everton for £2.4 million. So I can live with that. Gets him out the door, gets him off the wage bill. But we do need to get a few more people off the wage bill this month because of these new contracts for the likes of Ozil and Sanchez. Despite not signing anyone new, we've flown over our wage budget and need to balance the books a little bit. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.